Hey, UTU Trust Guardians, I'm Mike. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of UTU, and I'm here with our CEO, Jason. Say hi, Jason.
Hey,
And
everybody.
Bastion, our CTO.
Hey, everybody.
So we'd like to welcome you to the very first edition of the UTU Update in video form. So here's where we'll provide you with highlights of everything that's been going on at UTU. It'll just be a casual conversation about what we've been building and working on. We'll start off these updates monthly, but we'll increase the frequency as necessary. Maybe we'll live stream some of these in the future. Maybe you'll be able to ask us questions in real time. Who knows? It's experiment. We're launching this right now, and we'll see where it goes. Regardless, we are super excited to kick this off and happy that you're here to watch. So Jason, it's been a pretty busy couple of months. How have you been holding up?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited. I got to spend a couple months with my family, which I hadn't gotten to do in a really long time. So that was pretty fantastic. And now I'm back in Kenya. So everything, is kind of coming into place after the token sale, and we're sitting in a pretty nice position. We're growing our team, we're deploying product, we're bringing new partnerships. We have a bunch that we still haven't announced. There's the stuff we have announced, and we'll talk more about today. And so, yeah, definitely. I'm feeling a ton of energy. And I got to say, I think the coolest thing is finding this little, this community all over the world that just believes in what we believe. And so that's been a fantastic treat for me as a true believer in the UTU vision, to find so many people that share that.
Yeah, and you talked about product. Bastion, you have been very busy with the tech team. How have you been holding up building all these products?
Yeah, indeed, there's been many things going on the tech and product side. But the core UTU team was actually able mostly to keep focusing on core UTU trust mechanism and some lending use cases and data analysis there. That's because mostly we got some outside help for stuff that was to be done with the sale and new things. Like the DeFi portal and also the self sign up for the API and payment with UTU coin for that and so on. And those outside groups, Ape Unit in Berlin and HackPG and Sofia, have been great help. We knew also these people from before, so we kind of knew that we could rely on them. And that has been working well. We're also going to keep working together, but at the same time, we're also now with the new funds going to expand the core team to build all the awesome stuff that we promised and that we are indeed building.
Yeah, that's great. So why don't we continue into the product updates first, then we'll review what's going on with our community and customers. So one of the first products that we launched this month was our DeFi portal MVP. So Jason, why don't you talk a little bit about what that is, and then Bastion, maybe you can talk a little bit about what went into building that. So Jason?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this was super cool, and it's only the beginning. So we launched the MVP, and definitely it's only an MVP. We have a pretty nice roadmap for what we want to take it. It's our first public-facing product, though, that people can just use out in the wild. It's called the DeFi portal. It's really a showcase of how UTU tech can work in other platforms. The number of DeFi platforms has really exploded, and it's pretty hard to decipher which ones are legitimate, which ones are risky, which ones you should put your money into, which ones you should avoid. So we applied our trust infrastructure here, built the DeFi portal, help you identify which protocols are trustworthy, which ones you should interact with. So we'll include a link, I guess, in the description for this video about how you can access the DeFi portal and provide feedback. It's really cool, though. I'm so impressed with the whole tech team led by Bastion and Ape Unit and HackPG, and what they've been able to put out as quickly. So it's going in really cool places, yeah.
Yeah, so Bastion, talk a little bit about how it works behind the scenes and how you put it all together.
Yeah, sure. So first, the DeFi portal at the moment looks at blockchain transactions between people, or people's addresses rather. So when you log in and you put in your address, Then we scan that address and we find other addresses that you have interacted with, and then we scan those interactions, the transactions of those addresses as well, and then identify a set of smart contracts that belong to different portals. And so we find out which of your counterparties has interacted with which DeFi portal. And for that kind of transaction mapping, we introduced a new kind of interaction type in our model, because in our traditional use cases, we have been focusing squarely on social connections between people, like phone book, Facebook, friendships and this stuff. And so we needed to expand the model a bit on that end. At the same time, now the DeFi portal is focusing in version 0, that is kind of public right now, squarely on the blockchain transactions only. What we now want to do is basically add our more traditional side of the algorithm to it, and also look at social connections, allow people to identify which other people they actually know, and then showing maybe even more meaningful recommendations, like not only so many of people in your blockchain network have interacted with Uniswap, but so many of your friends actually recommend Uniswap. I mean, there's definitely some way to go there in recommendation-wise. And yeah, and then we are going to add more smartness still, some of which we have already built for other use cases, like identifying similar profiles of users. And so maybe not everybody that you know is trustworthy for you in recommending DeFi protocols, but probably some users are more than others. And so the goal of this is to identify these similarities and then give better recommendations. And yeah, more behind the scenes, besides extending the trust model in that sense, there's all sorts of technicalities going on. You need to integrate different APIs for use cases and stuff. And also the UI is very nice, simple and slick now. And that's really the goal for UTU, make very simple UIs that are easy to understand, even though what happens behind the scenes might be vastly more complicated. A bit like Google. Originally, Google started as a search engine only, and you had one input field with your search text and one button, search. Okay, second button was I'm feeling lucky, which just goes directly to the first result. So that's really my my role model here in terms of UI. It should be really simple, but the simpler the UI, the smarter the mechanism behind it has to be.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, I think it's very early stage product, but it's great to get it out there, get some feedback, and yeah, there's a lot more to build, and definitely ways to add a lot of value to DeFi investors. And like Jason said, we'll include a link to the DeFi portal and ways that you could provide feedback. So moving on,
and we've already gotten some, by the way, we've already gotten some great feedback from people that have been using it and adding those things to our roadmap. So please, if you use it and interact with it and have some ideas, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Awesome. So next we have some updates on improvements that we're making to our Trust API and SDK, the Software Developers Kit. And this is super important. This is really the core of our products moving forward. So Bastion, can you dig into some of the improvements that you've been working on there?
Yeah, sure. So I already mentioned that we extended the model a bit for the DeFi portal, but of course we extended it not only for the DeFi portal, but we are generally making it easier to use different kinds of relationships or interaction types to cover more diverse use cases, if you like, being a bit more flexible there on the API side. So yeah, the technically inclined might find some technical documentation for the API very soon. And yeah, we have also had previous versions, and if you compare the two, you're able to see that there was quite a bit of advancement model-wise. And yeah, so the goal for this is, of course, to make it very easy for new use cases to integrate us. And for that purpose, we are also building the SDK that should make a different code, basically, that client apps have to add in their own app to integrate UTU recommendations, and also a feedback form. So speaking of feedback, we have been working on a more general feedback model as well, or yeah, let's say a more exhaustive feedback model. So we are adding badges where people can say, okay, I like this aspect, or I didn't like that aspect, and also video reviews and other kinds of feedback, like more classical text or star ratings. Maybe it also depends a bit on the client platform, which forms of feedback is most relevant to their user base. But we think that these things should cover quite a large set of possible clients. So we are really looking forward to getting this out there and getting feedback on that as well for clients integrating us.
Same here. Yeah, I mean, that like I said, I think it's that really is the core of our business model, is being able to have our clients, our customers work with the API, work with the SDK to integrate them into their businesses. Jason, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. At the end of the day, we're a B2B to C company, right? So we have platforms and marketplaces that are integrating our technology, and they have end users that are ultimately going to interact with it. And these are really the key integration points for that to happen. And I think we have some vision around how this gets out there to the broadest number of people and creates the most value, creates the most trust. And so it's about getting our tech into all of the different ecosystems where platform builders and marketplace builders are actually sourcing their tech, making sure that our tech is available and accessible and easy to integrate. And I think the SDK and some of the extensions even we have planned on top of that, which we'll, I guess, talk more about soon, that's really going to be a massive transformation in how the internet accesses trust.
Yeah, and you know, every client and every sector that we're working with, which is many, are just, you know, there's a little bit something different about them each time. So it takes some time to really to tweak those algorithms for those different sectors. But like you said, lots going on behind the scene, and it's small steps to getting to that internet of trust there that we're building. So now let's move on to community and partnerships. And one of the things that I like to talk about is our liquidity mining program. We started it in October 31st, so it's not technically in November, so maybe I'm cheating a little bit, but we'll let it slide. But it's super important. You know, liquidity is very important for traders to be able to buy and sell UTU easily. So, you know, we created this liquidity mining program to incentivize our community to provide liquidity and earn some UTU rewards. With this program, the community can earn UTU by providing liquidity to our UTU ETH and USDC UTU pools on Uniswap. We've already handed out 2 million UTU in rewards, and APR is currently around about 250%. So definitely, if you're looking to get some rewards, you know, we're certainly, like we said, liquidity for UTU is very important. So you can, we'll include a link to a post about how you can do that. So any thoughts here in terms of liquidity mining in general and our program?
Yeah, this has been full of experimenting with that, I think. We said that we watch it and adapt the parameters if necessary. And yeah, currently we are having this discussion of what we should do. We might announce something soon here. But in general, yeah, I'm happy that the quite a diverse number of people, or that's at least my interpretation of it, who are putting liquidity in, and I'm thankful for that. I'm also aware that, of course, there are people committing to this, to holding UTU or even putting it in the pool. Are at the end of the day the real believers in us, people who plan to hold on to their tokens, and we appreciate that a lot, because those are the people that really help building this thing with us, and we will work very hard to yeah, to make us all successful together. And yeah, just so much from me.
Absolutely. So let's move on to some of the partnerships that we've had. We have scored a few partnerships this month, and the most recent one is with the UK Research Institute and University of Southampton. So this is a very much research-based that's going to partnership that's really going to impact how our product gets built and a lot of the logic that gets into this product. Bastian, let's start with you here since this is more on the technical side. So what's happening with that collaboration? How do you see the U2 team working with the UKRI and University of Southampton?
Yeah, that's thing. So it's a Turing that was won by one of the Southampton researchers in the agent interaction and complexity research group, Sebastian Stein, with whom, yeah, we have also talked variously before. That's because we have actually an ongoing research partnership with that group for a while now. And Professor Gopal Ramchand is actually one of UTU's advisors also, with whom I co-authored a paper like some 15 years back. And so that's not a completely new relationship in that sense, but Sebastian won this fellowship, and that's a great deal because there's quite a bit of funding for this over 5 years, including several full-time postdoc level researchers. And that research focuses on citizen-centric AI systems, which has a lot of components which are directly relevant for UTU's tech and what we are building and the AI that we are using, and also the promises that we give to users, such as that we allow users to specify exactly how their data will be used and privacy constraints and all that. And a lot of that stuff is basically a topic in that research. And we helped a bit also writing the proposal. So this is of course not a complete coincidence. And we are very excited about taking on this work together with those researchers. Then apart from UTU, there are also some other great industry partners in there, like Siemens, IBM, and some others, with whom we also hope to work together on these things, or maybe in some partial ways at first, but that should open up also some possibilities in the future, we hope. Apart from that, this fellowship is actually not the only research project with which we are engaging with UKRI, because they are also the initiators of the Trusted Autonomous Systems Hub, or TAS, where UTU is also a partner. And in that hub that just started just a few weeks ago, there's the first round of projects coming up now. They're called Agile projects. They are like limited scope, 1 year duration, very focused projects, and we are working together with some of their professors and researchers to write up a proposal for a responsible AI project, which is again very relevant for UTU in some related but a bit different aspects than in the fellowship one.
Very cool. Yeah, I think like we were talking about, it's going to be very important to the development of our algorithms, and also very important with that data privacy aspect of it. So good luck with that partnership, and I'm sure it's going to bear tons of fruit down the road.
I just want to add 2 words of congrats from myself and from the whole UTU team to Dr. Stein for winning this fellowship. Fellowship from UKRI and Turing Institute. Turing fellowships are not given out lightly, and it's well deserved by him, and we're very much honored to be a part of it. So yeah, it's going to produce a lot of super valuable work that UTU can directly bring to market, and generally our goals are aligned with UKRI's goals in terms of better trust for the internet. So there's a great partnership there.
It's perfect. Sounds perfect. Another awesome partnership that we forged this month is with RideSafe. So Jason, can you tell us a little bit about what RideSafe is and how we're going to be working with them?
Yeah, so we partnered with RideSafe. RideSafe is a blockchain-based application, offers real-time emergency response solutions for basically motorcyclists across Africa, the two-wheel taxi sector. For those that don't know, motorbike taxis are super common here in Kenya and in a lot of places around the African continent. And so we're working on integrating our trust infrastructure into their mobile application so that their users, namely the motorbike riders and the healthcare providers that they connect them to, can access more information about each other to increase trust. So we've been following the progress of RideSafe for a while, and their progress is pretty remarkable. I think they just partnered with Honda of Kenya, and I know they're cooking up some big deals to scale their tech into some exciting new markets. So what's really cool is their commitment to rider safety. Okay, I'm a motorcyclist myself, so this is particularly close to my heart. But the RideSafe founders, Jassy and Asimwe, both of them come to the project from a clinical background, and they saw so many motorcyclists dying unnecessarily in the clinic that they were inspired to do something about it. And that's how they started RideSafe. Their motives are super pure, and they know the market extremely well. It's really cool to work with them on this, better trust for motorcyclists.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I think this is one of the things that how we're going to go into how global we are a little bit, because we wrote a blog post about it. But I'm here in the U.S. and this doesn't exist, right? We don't have that many motorcyclists. We're mostly car-based travel, but just the cultural differences and how UTU can just be applied to so many different sectors across so many different geographies is pretty mind-blowing. So I think I'm really looking forward to how this partnership works out and seeing the value that we can add to RideSafe.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the next one we have to talk about is CryptoTask.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd like to take this one just because I've like you with RideSafe, you being a motorcyclist, you felt that pain.
Yeah.
And I've run into a lot of problems that UTU and CryptoTask are aiming to solve with this partnership. So basically, a little background: CryptoTask is a freelancing platform that uses blockchain to automate manual work, lower freelancing fees, and make freelancing easier, both for the gig workers and the people hiring them. So we'll incorporate our trust infrastructure to provide CryptoTask users with personalized recommendations from people they trust, rather than just the anonymous reviews. And of course, we'll have full privacy control over there. So now I've been a tech startup and founder for almost a decade now. And, I'm a non-tech guy, but I've had to hire a lot of freelancers to help me build my products. And a lot of the times this has gone terribly because there are just so many inaccurate reviews for hiring developers and designers. I've worked with highly rated ones that were pretty good. And then other very highly rated ones that it was just like pumping money down the drain. This didn't turn out to be as good as their rating suggested. So, excuse me, spent a ton of money on poor work. So, I think our trusted recommendation engine is going to add so much value to really showcasing those high quality developers and designers and freelancers, and it's really going to improve platforms like CryptoTask.
Yeah, maybe I agree. I agree completely. As a founder, we've all had to hire freelancers, and it's tough, right? There's so many scams. I can go on for days about that. But I do think what's pretty cool with CryptoTask is it's a showcase both of the power of a DApp to evolve the business model that can drive mass adoption from their centralized competitors. Like if you look at, I think what CryptoTask is going to, they're already one of the biggest dApps with like 100 daily transactions. If you look fast forward into a few months, maybe a year or two, they're going to be eating like Upwork's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But then it's also a pretty cool showcase, as Mike says, of the real value of UTU's tech and how it applies to this use case. It's super relevant. we've all felt that pinch. So yeah, it's a pretty nice partnership, and we know the CryptoTask guys for a while and have a great working relationship. So another super cool partnership, and they're actually based in Europe. So another kind of region that's going to be feeling directly the UTU tech.
Yeah, I might also want to add a bit on the technical side of that. So one of the things that we noticed with one of the other big freelancer platforms was that so we hired a few people from there, and then some of those people were dropping off from the job, like even after putting in maybe 1, 2, 3 weeks. And we were really wondering why that is. But after a while, we realized that when they are dropping off, then you cannot get to rate them. The mechanism is such that the party can end the contract, and then the other party doesn't get to rate them. So we realized they were doing this in order to keep their 5-star rating, because they were probably concluding from our communication that we were not 100% happy or complaining too much. And so they rather drop the project in order to avoid a rating. So yeah, in our own protocol, we devised this endorsement protocol and also a mechanism to reward and punish truthful ratings. So that, of course, still has to be proven. I mean, that part of the project is, at the moment only in an alpha version. We have to see when we can actually deploy this part. We hope that we can figure out better ways to make these ratings work and to avoid basically gaming the system like that. I mean, most of our endorsement protocol design is built around or designed around trying to prevent people cheating or gaming the system. So, of course, we haven't proven that yet, but we take this on as a challenge to solve. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sneaky, that story that you talked about. Yeah, so definitely one of those. It's just one of the many ways that reviews can be gamed. So definitely looking forward to working with CryptoTask and improving how their platform works. So awesome partnerships, many more coming. Stay tuned for those. Finally, we just like to highlight a couple of articles that we published on our blog. The first one was about how UTU can help build trust in DeFi loans. We already talked about the DeFi portal and how we're supporting that sector there with that portal. But I think in this blog post we talk about how DeFi really has substantially improved traditional loans and all the inefficiencies there. But there are still a lot of aspects of DeFi that where trust is absolutely necessary. We're looking at all the over collateralization of loans that are necessary currently, and just rug pulls and all that kind of stuff. So like UTU can definitely help build the trust in the DeFi sector, and and this article specifically focuses on DeFi loans and how we can help there. The other blog post that we published is we talked a little bit about how global UTU is and how it can be applied to all different sectors and all different geographies. And this blog post, we created a visual of our global network of customers, partners, investors, and team members, and the impact that UTU is having and will continue to have across the world. So it's pretty impressive, and a global visualization there. So check that out. And we'll add links to these blog posts in the description so you can read them. So Jason, Bastion, anything final you want to add to our very first UTU update?
Yeah, the other article I just wanted to point out is the one we wrote about digital dystopias and how to avoid them. This is really close to our hearts. You could say that this is what drives the team, or it gives a lot of context on what drives the team. We're a very mission-driven team. And so we wanted to share kind of our fears about what the world could look like without UTU and set ourselves against that backdrop. I mean, UTU is a vision for a benevolent alternative for the future of digital trust. And that article really does a great job to frame what drives us. But yeah, this is super fun, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these and making them more interactive and finding some new formats. And for sure, there's a bunch of exciting stuff about to come out, both partnerships, articles, and product.
Bastion?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, speaking of dystopias and stuff, yeah, I totally agree. I'm excited that we are working on mechanisms to, yeah, build up trust without building these dystopias. For that, it is very important that we keep our promises with respect to privacy, preservation, fairness, non-biasness, all these things. Those are hard problems. That's why we are working with all these research partners and stuff. Some people on the chat were a bit skeptical about that, you know, like saying, okay, research projects are taking a long time and they probably require some serious efforts from UTU as well. And yeah, that's true. They require
oh no,
actually
serious
a lot of effort, but yeah, I think maybe it was framed a bit differently, but I'm just summarizing right now. But anyway, so the thing is that, yes, it's true. It really requires serious effort, and we are committed to doing that because in the old days of the internet, I mean, the time when Facebook was started, it was the norm to just, you know, put out some tech there and not think really much about the consequences, and then later say, oh, we didn't know that, or oh, it was just the algorithm, and the people who wrote the algorithm couldn't know that, whatever. And I think those are rather cheap excuses, particularly for companies which are worth billions of dollars. And we are very much committed of not doing it this way, but yeah, trying to be responsible from the get-go. And actually, I think that a mechanism such as ours can only be built this way if we want to make it work, because if we just mindlessly throw the tech out there and see what happens, then yeah, bad things will happen. I mean, this has been proven many times now, and that's just not the way to go. So I'm excited that we have this research coming up, these research partners, very good ones, and yeah, that we can actually, that we have the opportunity to work together with awesome people on this, very smart people, and build the right things. And yeah, so that's what we'll continue to do. Concretely building the new API version and then pushing that out. We already have the sign up ready in place and stuff. So yeah, we are getting ready to get rolling on this, but at the same time working very seriously on the more complicated parts of the project, so to speak. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've got such a big vision with such potential impact across so many different sectors and across the world. So, you know, this is going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of time, but you know, it's yeah, anything worth building is going to take some sacrifice there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the other big news from November is that Mike joined us. He started just with us about a month ago now, and it's been fantastic having him. So thanks to Mike for joining us, and he's been a great addition to the team already with his experience and his connections and knowledge. So welcome, Mike.
Appreciate that, and it's fun, and you know, I'm very excited to be part of this journey. Well, there it is, Dang, the very first
Thanks, everybody.
UTU update video. Thank you so much. We hope you liked it. If you did, please hit that like button and let us know what you think in the comments. And of course, subscribe to our channel and look out for more video content in the future. Thanks again. Thanks so much, and have a good one. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.